Let's get into the WTs. As usual, at this time, weather and traffic. Let's see, traffic-wise, the only thing they tell you about is just getting on the Port of Spain from the Beetham. That's it. Nothing else to tell you about. Nothing else to tell you about. So let's go straight into the W's. It's a warm one already. It's 26 degrees on both islands, a beautiful twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The weather for today, sunny, hazy, and breezy conditions will be interrupted by occasional light to moderate showers with a low 20% chance of an isolated heavy shower or thunder shower favoring the afternoon. All right. Of course, we'll just copy and paste yesterday. That's all you have to do. Copy and paste what happened yesterday. It's pretty much going to be a dry week. It's warm in Miami at 27 degrees. Did I say 27? Yeah, I did. 18 in Toronto and sunny. Orlando, partly cloudy, and 25. New York, sunny and 23. Las Vegas, yeah, as Paul said in our newscast, it is 33. And their forecast, the maximum temperature for today will be 44 degrees Celsius. Ouch. Atlanta, cloudy and 21. London, partly cloudy and 19. Tampa, 27, partly cloudy. Washington, D.C., it is sunny and 23. All right. Now, let's see who sent us hellos first thing this morning via our mobile app and our website. And for those on YouTube that just logging in as we stream video, yeah. First off the gate this morning, I don't know what happened to Ken E., but Wendy Ann, you first off the gate, followed by Trev and Arima. DJ Ray out in Delaware. You're not going back to Tampa, DJ Ray. Oliver Man Warren, good morning. Salim Abdullah, how y'all going is what he says. Miss Ingrid, good morning, everyone. Blessings. Carol here. Carol again. Carol Guevara, have a great week. On YouTube, let's say good morning, good night to Edwin Marshall. Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Marcia Rock, good morning. Happy Monday. Gloria Gray, good morning. Dancing Queen. Should I sing that song? Should I? No, it'll rain. Top of the morning to you, Dancing Queen. Doreen Pear, good morning to you as well. All right. So let me throw it across to the guys. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, Pablo. What's happening? Welcome back.
Welcome. Good morning, everyone.
You look like you got some sleep.
Morning, Steve. Morning, Paul.
I got some sleep. I slept all day yesterday.
You see, I can see it on your face. You just took back the clock by 2 weeks.
No, what happened is the trip back was through Barbados, and we had 12 hours in Barbados. So I think I got a 3 a.m. on Sunday for a 5:30 flight from Barbados to Trinidad, which landed at 6. Well, it left early, so it left at 5 and landed at 5:55. So between landing in Barbados on Saturday, laying over for 10 hours, and then getting back at 3 o'clock to go to the airport for 4, yesterday I was out of it.
Clear a layover is just drain you,
I hate those stupid layovers.
Yeah, boy. But that is terrible. So, Wendell, what's happening?
Morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, listeners and viewers. It's Monday morning in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a slightly gloomy morning, but we hope for the best in terms of weather today. We're here, happy to be in the land of the living. I'm in great pain this morning. I got and played fast and played cricket yesterday, and boy, oh boy.
Well, you tried to play cricket. What happened to test match? We lost the test match against India.
In preparation for the Oval League at the end of the month, I decided I went to play a little fun game, fun day yesterday down in St. James, and injured myself. But I'll be all right. I'll be all right, people. Don't worry.
Yeah. Did West Indies lose that match against India? I'm assuming.
Of course we did. We didn't even get to see cricket over the weekend. They had lost by Friday.
Really?
Yeah. We lost the match in 3 days?
3 or 2? 3.
3. Yeah.
Wow. We need to come off that international circuit, yes? So just embarrassing.
Well, there's cricket in the Oval from this weekend, from the 20th. I think it's the 20th to the 24th.
Yeah.
When is the 20th? What is today's date?
17th. 20th is Thursday.
Oh, today's the 17th. Oh, okay. All right. That explains why someone sent me a whole set of messages yesterday about the 17th. Okay. All right. Something about some planets aligning and so. Capricorn, Aries, Libra, and Cancer. Something about that. I'll have a look at them. Later on today. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Wimbledon yesterday. Oh, that was an epic final.
Boy, I so wanted to see it, huh?
It was an epic final. I tell you, that guy Carlos Alcaraz from Spain. Okay.
I almost went.
You almost went to Wimbledon, yeah?
Almost went.
You should have
gone. Why didn't you go? Why is there?
I've always wanted to do that, right? I've always wanted to attend a Wimbledon. I attended a cricket match in Manchester.
We were told by everyone you should go, but there was no time. Schedule was too tight.
All right.
There's also car racing, Formula One, I think, in England at the moment, in the UK.
Yeah.
Lots of summer activities.
That was the weekend you arrived.
I couldn't have asked for better weather. There was only one day of rain.
Really?
Yeah, well,
it was picture perfect, but no heat, no perfect weather. I mean, this is I fell in love with London. I've been to London several times before, but being able to walk around London because the weather was so great.
Yeah.
There was a night we walked for 4 hours. We left at 6:30 and came back in at 11:30 and walked because we stayed right just off the Westminster Bridge, just near the Parliament in UK. Walked to Borough Gardens, then walk around to Covent Gardens, then walk to Trafalgar Square, then walk to Buckingham Palace, then walk. I mean, really walked. You know, when you walk, you learn a city.
Yeah.
You can drive around how much you want, you get confused. When you actually walk, we walked, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I was in a serious walking competition with the Speaker of the House, who I lost to.
Bridget?
You don't take on Bridget, and he said, George, in a walking competition, you will lose. Yeah, because I mean, and it was the running joke. While we walked the same distance, that night when we walked for 4 hours, we walked for 21,000 steps recorded.
Good.
Now my watch read 24,000 steps. Her watch read 21,000 steps. Her watch read 22,000 steps because her legs are shorter than mine.
Yeah, she's stepping more.
Yeah, so she making more steps, although we walk the same distance. But I mean, but in any case, her zeal for walking and stamina, don't take her on. You'll lose. You'll lose. She loves to walk, as do I.
Mass players do that, you know.
So for that day in total, I actually amassed 25,000 steps in one day. My record. Wow. I mean, it's such there's such beautiful weather that you couldn't not. I mean, it was not even warm. It was cool and breeze blowing and fantastic.
Yeah, and London has so much to see. That's so much to see.
No, this time of year it's summertime, so
yeah.
It was a fun trip. A lot of work, you know. Spent the day in Westminster Palace in the Parliament. Looked at some of the most amazing. You know, I now understand why kings thought they were just next to God. If one family owned that house and several others like that, because Westminster is a palace. So if one human being owned that back in the day, and several others across the realm, you understand why they thought nothing of everybody else.
Yeah.
Because it's so massive and it's so. We went to we got a tour of an underground church in the palace, perfectly preserved. I tried to get a picture before the day out, and it's so ornate and intricate from the ceiling. I mean, every corner of it, and that's one of the king's churches in the palace. I mean, I understand why they felt that they were close to God. Yeah, it's astounding, you know.
Right.
And the challenge is now that because it's so old, the palace is maintenance. And before I said, a person of Trinidad parentage is the Director General of the Westminster Palace, the Parliament building.
Okay.
Responsible for running it. And we also met one of the Baroness in the House of Lords who left Trinidad when she was 11 years old.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, you realize how much impact Trinidadians have had across the world. And this woman is one of the most revered women in the UK. She's like a superstar. Well, they both are like that, actually, because of how much they've done in the UK.
Right.
So,
lovely.
I mean, there was an mate went into the session of the House of Commons and a session of the House of Lords and how they operate and they do stuff. It's a very interesting trip in how they operate their parliament.
Right.
You know, and a lot is the same, but a lot is different because the House of Lords, of course, is there's so many members. Same with the House of Commons and they're members for life.
Yes.
And they're nominated from three sources: from the government, whoever the opposition is, Conservative and Labour, but also there's some who are nominated by neutral entities. So there's a balance, you know.
Right. You remember Patrick Manning had that plan for our House of Representatives at one time, too. No, actually for the Senate. He had that plan for the Senate,
So in our case, they would not only have been nominated by the president. They'd be members nominated by both government and opposition. Well, our Senate has that, you know.
Right.
Because there's 16 government members and 6 opposition senators. And I guess it's the same construct because the independent bench, whom they call cross-benchers, nominated by neutral entities. I have no allegiance or alliance. Very interesting trip. You learn so much. And they learn a lot from us too.
All right. Good to hear. Good to hear. So the King of Spain also was in London yesterday because he came to watch the Wimbledon finals and had the opportunity to congratulate his countryman, young Carlos Alcaraz, 20 years old, dethroned Novak Djokovic in what was possibly one of the best Wimbledon finals that there has been.
New blood.
Yeah. 16 years his junior. Well, he proved it yesterday. You know, he really played.
It's time for the tides to change, you know?
Yeah, I don't mind. You know?
Well, it adds a new blood and new freshness to tennis. Tennis is such a popular game, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
I see a lot has been happening here.
Trinidad again.
Well, Saturday, the PNM had their launch down at San Fernando. It was a huge turnout in San Fernando Promenade. I haven't been to San Fernando Promenade in a little while. So it was a huge turnout down there. Pretty successful meeting. They presented all 141 candidates down San Fernando on Saturday. I think the UNC also had something at Taruba where Gary Griffith was the main speaker. And you know, I had a chance to message Gary over the weekend in terms of his comment about the alderman list, and I said, well, I agreed with him that the way it was done, but I had to remind him because he was making it out to be like if it happened recently. I said, no, brother man, it's under the People's Partnership that alderman situation was changed. And then he apologized. He said, oh, good, I forget that. Anyway, the aldermen, you have to appoint aldermen, equal amount of aldermen to the amount of councillors in an area. So if in Port of Spain, you have 12 districts, 12 councillors, on nomination day, you have to send in a list of 12 aldermen. Does not matter how many seats you are contesting as a party. So even if you're contesting 5 of the seats in the area, in the district, right, in Port of Spain, you have to still send a list of 12 aldermen, right? That's how the act is framed, right? However, quite a few of the parties didn't honor that part. And a lot of them, well, NTA in particular, I shouldn't say a lot of them, but NTA in particular, have aldermen in different municipalities, which is what I don't understand. We had to get some information on that. How could you be an alderman in Diego Martin, in Arima, and in Port of Spain at the same time? Because to qualify as an alderman, it is the same qualification as that of a councillor. That part of the act was changed. You must qualify as an alderman the same way you qualify as a councillor. You understand? So you can't possibly qualify in Arima, Diego Martin, and Port of Spain at the same time. I don't understand that. So we have to get clarification on that from someone at the EBC, if that is allowed, because they certainly allowed it in terms of the NTA. There are people who are nominated as aldermen in different municipalities, at least 3. So I don't understand that. We have to get clarification on that, right?
No.
And we'll see where it goes.
I see the 2 things are also making a difference. Well, 3, 2 related. One is, of course, our Commissioner of Police, who put out a video statement. Is it over the weekend? I think on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Correct.
After much absence, you notice we spurred a comment after our missive. Is it last week or week before, where we said she was missing, and people should hear from her? Remember that?
Yes.
And to be fair, we weren't the only ones, because she was quite absent, and apparently, the Mrs. Christopher Harewood and her team thinks that a video message is going to be adequate. I see Dr. Munira has said that, and I found it quite interesting, almost agreed in some ways, that it should be the criminals hiding, not the Commissioner of Police, because some people interpreted her absence as hiding. But she certainly has, before that, made a statement that she would not be dealing with the media. I'm paraphrasing here, because they don't print positive things about her, or a newspaper or a media house. A particular media house was not printing positive things about it, as if the media house is a PR department. Quite frankly, it is not. Mrs. Harewood Christopher. You have a whole communication department for that. The media is there to report and to do journalistic investigations, not to be your good news bearer. If you do good news, if you do good things, I am sure they will report it. So I think she came out and she put out this video, which I don't know what it accomplished. And then the Prime Minister on Saturday also referenced the crime situation as he could. I remember when we did the first debate, I asked a question on crime, but many of the people who are contesting are talking about crime because it is relevant even in a local government context. And he said he would like a vetted unit to be paid more in the police service because of the issue of the ongoing issue, which we talk about all the time, of criminalizing the police service. And I've said so for the last 15 years. If we do not clean out the rogue elements and hardcore criminals, because that's what they are. If you are aiding and abetting gangs and criminals, you are also a hardcore criminal. Now, because you have on blue and gray, it means as a criminal. And to be clear, I am not talking about all officers, so don't jump out on yourself. I am talking about the unknown quantum of corrupt officers undermining the good work of the legitimate officers, right? So the Prime Minister's answer to that, or one of his answers, I presume, is to have a vetted unit to allow themselves to be polygraphed and who will be paid more. I don't know that that's the answer. Because guess what? Well, part of it, he says, is they will also sell out or identify the corrupt officers. You understand? And working them out. I don't know that paying somebody more or polygraphing them is going to weed out the corrupt officers. So I don't know that's going to work at all. And quite frankly, if I have to pay you more, to be honest, so what is the baseline on that we accept that is a corrupt service at some level, and that we're paying to identify the honest officers? That what we're doing?
Guys, when we had the special anti-crime, when we had SORT, the special anti-crime unit of Trinidad and Tobago, we decried the PNM government at the time didn't legislate it properly, but that was the answer at the point in time. It consisted of police, soldiers, normal civilians.
They're talking about something completely different. SORT, this is not what I get from what the Prime Minister is saying. SORT was a special unit with special powers to do special tasks.
It was also to deal with rogue officers.
And it didn't work either. It didn't work.
Yeah. No, well, it didn't get a chance to work.
Our problem with the police service, as I've said over and over, and I guess it's kind of in alignment, is that we need an independent entity like the US and the UK to weed out corrupt officers. They are not going to sell each other out even if they paid more.
Right, which is also why the PCA was formed, and then they didn't give them enough
powers.
Powers. Yeah,
that's the problem. Yeah. Not paying officers more, if you're honest. Really? Yeah. I don't think that's going to work at all. I disagree with it.
I have said.
Well, maybe that should be the subject of our poll this morning.
If we don't clean up the police service, we can't.
I've said so for 15 years. Let me play a piece of the clip by the Prime Minister so that the people get a clear sense of what he said, lest I be misinterpreting what the Honorable Prime Minister is saying. Right? So let's share that.
What we call vetted units. Vetted units, meaning groups of special police officers, men and women, who are vetted to ensure that their integrity is intact. Because one of the problems that we have is that there are too many criminals in the police service. So when you're going after the non-police criminals, they have their friends in the police service to tip them off, and we have to have vetted units. And I'm telling this country that we are prepared to pay extra to police officers in those vetted units if they will maintain their integrity and help us to root out the criminals in the police service, in the customs, in immigration, and in the parliament. So they want to talk crime. Crime and criminals are not only on the corners, they're inside the parliament. Inside the parliament. So when they talk, it just boils my blood when I see them, because I know them have questions to answer. Them have questions to answer. And here the answer. The answer is to flood the country with guns. Nobody is saying that our citizens can't get firearms. We have a system. The same way the Americans are saying to us, you have to have vetted units where you have people who could pass a polygraph test, who you examine on a regular basis to make sure they preserve their integrity, because information, confidentiality is a life and death. I distinctly recall a commissioner of police that he planned a raid many years ago, and when they were supposed to be at the place where the raid was supposed to arrive in the office, the phone started to ring in the office. Police officer took up the phone and answered it. And it was saying, they're coming. And he to reach that police officer, calling to tip off the criminal. We have to get rid of them, because they what we call vetted units. Vetted units.
So that's the Prime Minister's statement from Harris Promenade in San Fernando on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the Prime Minister's suggestion is that
it's a good tool. It's a good tool to do. Yeah. Because as I said, we were going down that road already with the special anti-crime unit. We were going down that road.
Yeah. And hopefully, gentlemen, I'll get word shortly. I did reach out on yesterday morning to an individual that can talk to us on this.
Talk to us on it. You mean on what the Prime Minister said?
Yes.
Okay. Because he actually linked two issues there. The issue of the police, the special unit, the vetted unit, and the fact of that there are criminals in the parliament. He cleverly linked it, But yeah, we could separate it and deal with the issue of the special vetted unit that will be paid more to get rid, because if you don't clean up the police service, we cannot clean up crime. We've been saying that for how many years? The police service is the problem. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear me say it, but I know firsthand the police service is the problem. And the good officers are oftentimes intimidated and afraid to say anything against the
not intimidated, when they're threatened.
Yeah, they are.
Threatened. Good
not
word.
Intimidated, they're threatened.
They are.
But the issue I have with that is that, so we're paying for integrity, we're paying more for integrity.
Well, I don't think, I think he has offered something, and I don't know that it will be. I don't know that
So the default is not integrity, and we have to pay those who prove that they're integritous or they have integrity.
Well, what is
so then we're presuming that those who don't submit themselves to the polygraph test or whatever other mechanisms to identify the integrity be left in the service to be weeded out slowly. So we presume that everybody else who don't subject themselves has no integrity and they stay in the service.
Well, clearly what we admitting in a kind of way, Paul, is that we have given commissioners of police and commissioners, because it started since in the days of Trevor Paul, I remember when legislation was passed, to give a commissioner of police the ability to fire someone, and no one has done it.
Let me tell you a simple solution to this. Body cams.
Did I strip loud enough?
Did you hear my strips too?
Well, I don't know that we don't have technology for accountability.
But I'm telling you, Paul, we do.
Body cams may not be able to capture officers dealing with criminals. But if they are in widespread enough consistent use, we're halfway there.
Paul,
I am yet to see a commissioner of police, including the present commissioner of police, who seems serious about activating a body cam policy on a widespread enough basis, consistently, for accountability and transparency in the police service. And I will say it plainly, I have not seen one.
None.
Preach.
They have a lot of
regulations, commissioner, despite what they've said.
They have a lot of regulations already in place given to commissioners of police.
Regulations is not enforcement and consequences for non-compliance.
Preach, Paul, preach.
Why are you making it sound like we arguing? We agreeing with one
another? I am not arguing. I am passionate about this because I've said this over and over and over.
Yes.
We are saying the same thing. But I don't know that a veteran unit paid more is the answer. Maybe it's part of the answer.
Well, we ought to do something because clearly the commissioners of police not doing anything.
Out of the 7,000 or 6,000 police officers, how much could be better? You're paying 1,000 more?
Man,
and leaving 5,000 and leaving 5,000 question mark over the head? That's what we doing?
Get about 25 good ones, and it probably will be 20 women and 5 men. You understand?
Anyway, the other thing we'll talk about is procurement, but I know we are past the point of going through the papers, but we will pick up this again soon. Let me start with the... I have the poll already. Right, so let me start with the Guardian. For today, it is July 17th. PM Rowley, corrupt cops putting lives in danger. TNT citizenship for boy returned from ISIS. Cop speaks out as murder count crosses 300. So happy to hear from him. We're grateful. PM willing to pay extra for police officers of integrity. Body found in Laramine. The culture of change of elected aldermen. Chaguanas inundated with crime, traffic, and flooding. And cop Earl Christopher hits the streets, warning that criminals should be hiding, not the commissioner. So her presence all of a sudden certainly is in response to me, to the criticisms of her absence recently. We move now to the Newsday. Griffith, police vetted units, nothing new. UNC to COP ankle braces for criminals already law, it is. Monilal, PM's explanation for procurement law changes a cop-out. Griffith unveiled strategic and tactical approach to win San Fernando Corporation. And Monilal, independent senators told to stand up and defend procurement changes. We move now, which to Newsday, and I need to find the Express now if I can. I did the Guardian already, right?
Sorry?
I think I did the Guardian already, if I'm not mistaken.
I think, didn't you start with the Newsday?
Yeah. Express newspaper, right? I was looking for the tab. Right, and the Express News, let me make sure this is the article. The Express seems a little reticent. Right. Rowley willing to pay more to police officers with integrity. Severed hand video leaves family shaken. Parents look for bargains ahead of new school term. Monilal, a mongoose gang in the making. And Rowley rewards for clean cops. And man's hand severed during iron chair attacks. So these are some of the stories in your Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today, July 17th, 2023. You should see the messages I'm getting here.
I maintain we had it with the special anti-crime unit of Trinidad and Tobago. We had it. And what happened? When government changed, it was totally disbanded. The head of that unit, Brigadier Peter Joseph, was fired. We had to pay him. That was the answer. That was the answer. That unit was formed under Patrick Manning to do just that. Patrick Manning and deceased Martin Joseph to do just that. Body cams can't save these criminals inside of it. Can't fix them. We need a commissioner of police.
Approach.
We need a commissioner of police who uses the rights and regulations under their watch to do it. But all of them are afraid. When we thought Gary was the answer, remember we said that here, we supported Gary because he wasn't part of the police service. That's why we supported him, because he didn't come up through the ranks. And we said, okay, somebody outside of it will fix it. And then he fall in line with them. Man, if they don't fix that service, trust me.
He certainly had his share of issues.
Hope and pray.
Anyway, our question this morning is, do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit to get rid of corrupt officers in the TT police? If it's add paying more. Right?
Yeah. All right, so let me give the results, and we'll repeat our poll for you for today. Let me give the results from Friday. Friday, we asked you, are you happy that migrant children will be accepted into our school system? That was our poll on Friday. I'll give you the results right after I tell you that, are you ready to explore the cutting-edge world of computers and controls? Then mark your calendars for the TIC convention happening July 20th, which is on Thursday, to the 22nd at the Center of Excellence in Macoya. Visit the Computer and Controls booth and witness the future of communication with PBX, Voice over IP, technology, enhance your network security firewall, discover the power of seamless connectivity with access points, and take your business online with EasyCart. And wait, there's more. There'll be loads of exciting freebies that you won't want to miss. Join the Computers and Control team for the TIC convention from July 20th to 22nd at the Center of Excellence, Computers and Controls, where you can unleash the power of technology and gain valuable insights that will shape your future. Again, the results of our morning poll from Friday. Are you happy that migrant children will be accepted into our school system? 81%, 81, said yes. All right.
Groups of
let's get back into this morning's poll.
Men and women who are vetted to ensure that their integrity is.
Yeah. So it's a unit made up of police officers that the Prime Minister. And quite frankly, it's a unit that has to be totally insulated from what's happening in that police service. They must be insulated and protected.
How are they going to be insulated if they have to infiltrate and run sting operations to weed it up?
When I said insulated, they have to be protected.
Well, insulated and protected are two different words, eh?
Well, I'll use protected.
You mean insulated from attacks?
Well, yeah, I thought that was obvious.
Well, good morning, Richard.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, listeners, wherever you are.
This NTA blue all the wearing every morning now. I watch it all day.
I've been wearing this long before the NTA formed. And if I feel to wear blue, I'll wear blue. If I feel to wear red, I'll wear red.
Again,
I'm watching to all in.
Again, our morning poll. Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit who are paid more to get rid of corrupt officers within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? Yes or no? Call us 222-8255. Toll free, North Americans, 866-525-1099. You can send us a message on our mobile app or website at power102fm.com, as well as on YouTube, for those joining us on YouTube. We have a caller. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
My answer to the poll.
Let me guess.
I agree with sorry if you didn't ask the poll, but I agree with the Prime Minister for two reasons. One is that if it is that you are instituting a matter of this, it's a matter of risk, a higher risk involved, and you obviously have to have some sort of motivation to take on that aspect. And the second one has to do with also collaboration in terms of sharing of intelligence, which was a requirement, if I recall, from the Prime Minister conference with the USA that stemmed out of that meeting with the CARICOM, right? Mm-hmm. So if it is that they play any clip, it starts from the beginning of the thing, and you'll get the answer to the question, right?
So we can't take the whole clip, bro.
Yeah, but that is the gist of the reason why it is stemming from the.
We can't take the whole clip, bro. We choose a part of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning to Brenda Isaac. Rena Bodo Jennings, yes, it's going to be a hot day today. Scorpion Pepper, good morning. Welcome back, Dr. Paul. Mo Gaines, Guy Small, Edwin Marshall.
Are they voting?
Scorpion Pepper says no.
You only had one vote so far.
I'm just acknowledging our messages.
Okay.
All right. Scorpion Pepper says no. Son of God in Jesus Christ says, who shall guard the gods? Scorpion Pepper said, well, okay, got you there, Scorpion Pepper. Slick Money Grip says, I vote yes.
Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit who are paid more to get rid of corrupt police officers in the TTPS.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. St. Mary's Maruga said yes.
All right, St. Mary's Maruga. It's been a while. Good morning to you. All right. GNT Security, good morning. Salim Abdullah said he was coming home for the second test match, but after that dismal performance, he ain't playing that game. I ain't blame you at all, bro.
I still going in the over.
Yeah, I'll probably pop in, but I'll probably pop in. All right, so 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit who are paid more to get rid of corrupt officers within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? All right, that's our poll.
And then we have procurement to talk about.
Yeah. Stretch, yes, agreed. Mr. Carapo, no to the poll. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
I never see you in red, eh?
You still with that?
Red or?
The real fighting bad boy. You're a real fighting bad.
And I never see you wear red. I'm just saying, observe that.
Yeah, I don't have any red jerseys, really.
You ever saw me wear yellow?
Neither, honestly.
Michael Williams, aka Long Islander, says no. Thank you so much. Carol Guevara says no to the poll.
How about you give it when nobody give you off here?
Slick Money Grip.
Yes. The one before Slick Money Grip was what?
Carol Guevara saying yes.
No. You said no, you know.
No, yes to the poll. Ms. Maloney says yes.
But you said Carol said no, eh?
No, Michael Williams said no. He's right before.
Well, you confused me now. I hope Richard have it correct.
Well, I hope so too.
You have 6-3?
I have 7-2.
You have 6-3?
I have 7-2, so maybe it's 7-3.
I have 6-3.
Okay, maybe it's 7-3 then. I think it's
Good morning, caller.
Yes, Steve, yes, you said no. I was reading at the same time. You said no to Carol.
No,
Wendell,
Carol
I
said
heard him.
yes.
I heard him.
What's your
Good
vote,
morning,
Mrs. Aaron?
everyone. My answer is yes. And Wendell, he will always be in red, okay? My love will always be in red. His heart is red.
Yes. We
He's
know
not
that
a
for sure.
his blue.
All right, Christy.
All right.
In front of your face.
These fellas only wearing blue are watching that. Every morning is some blue thing they have on. I'm watching them.
Seems like certain party paranoid, boy. They can't wear colors.
I'm proudly wearing my red. Trust me.
Well,
as a matter of fact, you pass in front of my house now, I have a red PNM flag. I don't rampant skinning. Is the real deal again with me?
Azim Mohammed says yes. Trevin Arima says yes. DJ Ray, plain old talk by PM. Okay, thanks, Ray. D.
What's the vote?
I wish yes. Thank you, D.
Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit of officers who are paid more to get rid of corrupt officers in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? Well, did the Commissioner of Police make a comment on this statement that she's actually commenting these days?
But you know.
Was that decision? Sorry, was that decision out of the meeting that they had yesterday? Was it yesterday?
No, Dr. Rodney made that on Saturday night.
He made that on Saturday night.
But there was a meeting yesterday, not so?
Yes.
Yeah, but he met with them yesterday.
Yes, but nothing came out of that yet.
Well, nothing, no information came out of that meeting.
But the Prime Minister, they have the National Security Council, so I guess on occasion he will meet with the leadership of the police service. Am I wrong, Wendell?
No, you're not wrong.
And he had a defense staff and Coast Guard. That's part of what he has to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the big hullabaloo meeting yesterday was about. It's a normal part of what he has to do to interface with national security.
Because of the crime situation, anytime the heads of the security divisions are meeting, because of the terrible crime situation, and most Trinidadians consider they will always see it as something.
And can you apprise me of when we haven't had a terrible crime situation in the last few years?
It is. You don't think it's worse?
No.
Yes.
I think it's been getting worse for the last 10 years plus.
Yeah, but for a lot of people, we live in the now. And for a lot of people, it is the worst for them now.
Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit of officers who are polygraphed and paid more to ensure the integrity to help clean up the police service and get rid of corrupt officers in Trinidad and Tobago?
All right, big guy. No to the poll.
We should ask if we can get a win.
Trini in Boston says yes. Wayne out in Simcoe, Ontario, Canada says yes. All right. 222-8255. Toll-free North Americans, 868.
Yes, sir. Big guy said yes, right?
525-1099. Big guy said no.
Oh, dear.
You can't work in EBC at all, you.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to know when
love you.
I'm sure you all know by now when I'm being
mischievous. If we put you in EBC to work,
I'm sure you all know by now when I'm being mischievous.
like we had to vet you too. We had to polygraph you too.
I could predict big guy going on call right after and say when.
Just like I could predict the call earlier. I was sure what he was going to say. Sure.
I knew what he was going to say too.
I was sure what he was going to vote. He's Mr. Defense.
But he always analyzes things and gives a reason. He doesn't just vote. Well, he doesn't just vote along party line.
You mean rationalize?
Yeah, he rationalizes his
okay, because analyze is you kind of neutral, eh?
No, but he analyzes it too.
Yeah, but no, rationalize is different to analyze.
No, you don't have to always agree with his analysis.
I know what his vote was going to be. I was sure what his vote was going to be. Sure.
Like, Richard, totem time start.
Well, there's always a tutor and a
A Totara?
Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit of officers who are paid more to get rid of corrupt officers in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? And of course, the conversation about procurement has started again.
But
and the
you
House
see that procurement thing, it needed fixing.
It did. They need those amendments, and that issue of the 1 million and below. I mean, I think it's just mirroring what it was before.
Yes.
But that's so completely necessary. They needed some minimum level where the procurement regulations don't apply, because it has been creating havoc,
mayhem,
in terms of people trying to something as minor. And the example I gave last week was something as minor as a television set that you need to replace in an institution becomes this huge procurement thing. You just can't buy it or make it simple. And things less than that.
Yeah.
Because there is no minimum. So anything that you're acquiring, you could be buying groceries. Institutions are like, we have coffee to buy. What do we do?
Yes.
How do we procure it?
You better send in the Parliament Wednesday.
No, but it's I don't know how they didn't see that before, because a few of us saw it, that this would pose a problem for buying anything in a state enterprise. Yeah. Anything.
The only thing I had told Saddam Hussein last week when we spoke to him, besides that minimum thing, was that I felt the group of professions that they have that are excluded should also include artists.
Okay.
Even though if they put it as $1 million and less, it will by inference include artists. But you never know. But they should have included the creative sector as part of that, those exceptions, because oftentimes if you are selecting somebody in the artistic communities because you want that particular person.
Yes.
You want Voice, or you want Marshall, or you want Bungie, or you want, whoever it is that you wanted. I'm just using soca artists because they're probably.
You're right, Richard. Let's say I wanted Rhodey or Nikki Crosby to come in and do something. Now you had to get quotes from 3 different people.
Exactly, which in the creative sector really doesn't kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Because people have certain skill sets in certain arenas within the creative sector.
And how are lawyers different to that?
I'm not arguing about lawyers. I'm just saying that is already an excluded class, including lawyers, accountants, medical professionals, I believe, too. So I'm just saying they're already included. So whatever the justification is, I'm not arguing with that. I'm just saying the creative sector should have been included. But they often kind of not included and they sideline because.
Any more pollsters with Steve?
No, nothing yet. Again, our morning poll. Do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit of officers who are paid more to get rid of corrupt officers in the TTPS?
So Dr. Munila is saying that it's unconstitutional and only.
He says a mongoose gang. Dr. Munila has always come up with these extremes. He says that is a mongoose gang. If Keith Rowley, if Dr. Keith Rowley really was the dictator that some people try to make him out to be, people don't understand what a dictator is. I think so, The mere fact that because they did it to Patrick Manning, they maligned that poor man and painted him in all different kind of ways, call him Idi Amin, all kind of things they call him. And they're doing the same thing to Dr. Rowley now. Do they understand what a dictator really is? That you wouldn't even get the opportunity to say he's a dictator? Okay.
They might take us off the radio.
It's so stupid sometimes when I listen to these comments. A mongoose gang. How is that? If you're doing wrong, you pay the consequences.
But they've had units in the TTPS and continue to have units in the TTPS that require those kinds of hoops that you have to jump.
I thought it was only me. I thought it was only me, sir.
Yeah, that you had to go through lie detector and all of that. Those units exist.
Yeah.
And that you have to pay them to make sure they're more honest than the average because of the rule.
I mean, it's like
a
heightened PSB in a sense. Is that what it is?
I guess so.
So what are we suggesting? The PSB is not working?
What it tells me is that I hope the Commissioner of Police is listening, because she has these powers. She don't need the Prime Minister to tell her to do these things. A Commissioner of Police already have these powers.
But what are you suggesting? The Commission is not aware of the remit of her powers?
Like none of them. Since Trevor Paul days.
But remember, she's the one who said prayer. We can't solve it unless we pray. One of her first astounding statements.
And let me hush my mouth away. I'll get in trouble.
Pray. Or you pray. Pray for the vetted officers. There are things the Commissioner can presently do that she and others in the past have been reluctant to do, to bring people even suspected of corrupted activity to book. And part of the reason is why they don't want to go to court. Go to court. All your work is to get evidence if you all have intelligence.
You know what we do? You know what we do to get rid of some officers out of operationals?
Transfer them.
We promote them.
And we transfer them.
We either transfer, we promote them to something higher in a division where they just had to push paper. That's what we do. They're
very good at running sting operations outside the police service. Run some sting operations inside the police service. And if the Prime Minister, who is the head of the National Security Council, to say they need a special unit, what is the point of the Professional Standards Bureau?
And lock up your batch.
What is the point of it? And there's another, I think there's something division too, you know. And if you see it,
there are several
units. All them are working. Look,
several units within the TTPS that deal with issues.
Batch, those tell about batch. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. A lot of the issues are because of the level that these corrupt officers are at. Because junior officers do have access to the kind of information them senior officers have. And the senior officers is batched with X, Y, and Z. Who is child godfather, and we go back for years and all kind of confusion.
All right, gentlemen, we do have a couple of calls. Let's get our caller. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. That's a problem, Steve. Why we keep reinventing the wheel in Trinidad and Tobago? When there was correct, we had in Trinidad, Gary Griffith condemned it to the last. And when he gets in office, he just changed the name and continued with the same organization and said more legal now. Right? Sort of had an opportunity in this country to be not just the FBI of Trinidad and Tobago, but the FBI of the Caribbean. We had a foundation to build a Caribbean Federal Investigation Unit. Right? I don't know if we don't recognize, but we've seen it on a million programs. When there are problems with cops in the United States, they call in the FBI to investigate them. Are we aware that the FBI gets a different salary from the normal police in the United States?
But SWAT was also getting a different salary too.
And SWAT was getting a different salary. Had it in place already.
Yes.
We had that in place already, and we squashed it because, as the President said, government change. We keep reinventing the wheel and doing the same thing by different governments.
All right, so you would say yes or no?
Definitely is the answer to that would be yes.
All right, thank you. Lester Craigwell says no. Kenny in Harlem says yes. Leonard Naipaul. Good morning, Leonard. Okay, that's what I have here. Christian. Garbage in Woodbrook still on the road or not on the road since Thursday? Garbage collection, Wendell?
They were having problems last week. I think it's been sorted out, though, as far as I'm aware.
All right. I think Christian meant no garbage collection. All right, gentlemen, it's exactly 7 o'clock on this, the 17th day of July. Let's get into our news read by our BBC correspondent, Paul Richards.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Monday, 17th July, 2023. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is news to 7 a.m. on News Power Digital. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is proposing a vetted unit in the TTPS. However, the UNC describes the plan as unconstitutional. The last quarter of 2024 is the timeline being given for the completion of the central block of the Port of Spain General Hospital. In news of the region, curfew imposed in sections of Tivoli Gardens, Jamaica, and extreme heat intensifies across the southwest US and parts of Europe. Details coming up next. This is news to 7 a.m. on News Power Digital. Our newscast is compiled by Avril St. Hilbab and Gregory McBurney. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is proposing more money be paid to police officers to be members of what he described as vetted units, which will be reserved for those who display high integrity. Dr. Rowley said the aim to get rid of criminals inside the protective services. Dr. Rowley made the comment while speaking at a local government election political meeting at Harris Promenade in San Fernando on Saturday.
Some of you know who is doing it. Some of you are providing where the American government has undertaken, and we have agreed to accept it, to create within our police service what we call vetted units, meaning groups of special police officers, men and women, who are vetted to ensure that their integrity is intact. And I'm telling this country that we are prepared to pay extra to police officers in those vetted units if they will maintain their integrity and help us to root out the criminals in the police service, in the customs, in immigration, and in the parliament. Some of you know who is doing it. Some of you are providing them with...
The Prime Minister said he has discussed the matter with the Minister of National Security, and the idea has the backing of local and American experts and the government.
Some of you know who is doing it. Some of you are providing them with cover, and some of you don't care until death and destruction come.
Unconstitutional is how the opposition UNC described the plan by the Prime Minister to set up a vetted unit in the TTPS. Speaking at a news briefing of the UNC on Sunday, Member of Parliament for Urupuch East, Dr. Rudan Munilal, claimed the proposed unit is undemocratic.
This is unconstitutional. It is undemocratic. The Constitution, it is very clear that the Constitution determines the role and functions of critical institutions. It is the Commissioner of Police who has complete control over the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Dr. Munilal said there's also need for the Commissioner of Police to appear before the Joint Select Committee of Parliament on National Security to account for the management and performance of the service in the fight against crime.
We will also call on the Joint Select Committee on National Security to summon the Commissioner at the earliest opportunity to give an account for what the TTPS is doing to deal with murders, gang-related murders. We say gang-related murders is a responsibility. All of that is important and so on, gangs. What are you doing about it?
On to other news now. Former public relations officer of the Store Bay Reef Operators Association, Michael Frank, says the group has noticed an uptick in activities coming off the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking with the media over the weekend, Mr. Frank explained and cited several beaches which people have requested to visit, which can be accessed by boat. He is pleased with the increased interest and momentum in the tourism sector. The last quarter, on to other news now. The last quarter of 2024 is the timeline being given for the completion of the central block of the Port of Spain General Hospital. In the first quarter of 2025, the facility will be commissioned. Currently, the tender phase is taking place for medical equipment and other supplies. This disclosed by the Chief Executive Officer of the Northwest Regional Health Authority, Anthony Blake. He made the revelation while speaking at the Sport and Family Day of the St. Mary's College ground over the weekend. On now to regional news. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Tivoli Garden, Kingston 14 in the Kingston West Police Division. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on July 16th and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on July 18th. During the hours of the curfew, All persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander, the police have advised. Further afield, a heat dome over the U.S. Southwest has translated into extreme heat warnings from coast to coast, which will continue to affect more than 110 people. It comes as soaring temperatures are also hitting southern Europe and Canada, battling the worst season of wildfires in history. Scientists have long warned that the climate change linked to human activities will lead to an increase in the severity and frequency of extreme weather events. And we end our news with the headlines once again. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is proposing a vetted unit in the TTPS. However, the UNC describes the plan as unconstitutional and undemocratic. The last quarter of 2024 is the timeline being given for the completion of the central block of the Port of Spain General Hospital. There are curfews now imposed in sections of Tivoli Gardens, Jamaica, and extreme heat intensifies across southwest US, Europe, and Canada. That is news to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have media news coming your way again at 12 noon.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul, for our major news. Of course, it is 28 degrees on both islands. It's going to be a copy and paste of yesterday is the weather forecast for today. Take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Slow going from Piarco towards Orange Grove. And then from there to UE, it is heavier. After you pass the interchange, you'll get some volume. But from Barataria heading to Port of Spain, you'll get some traffic. Nothing out of the west. Monroe Road is a bit busy. Chase Village towards Sugarguanas, you've got some traffic. Rivulet Road as well, and that is it. Nothing really to tell you about in San Fernando. All right, got a couple more votes, gentlemen. I've got Josie Richardson saying yes, and I got Leonard Naipaul saying no. All right,
I got those.
Right, okay, so let me try and see if my guest will. I have to call right now, so go ahead.
So who was the final count? I hope it's not Randall.
Well, I have 16 people saying yes and 6 saying no. I don't know if Richard has any different.
I need Richard to weigh in on that. I have concerns about the validity and reliability of your counts.
Me, I hear very well, and when I don't hear,
you hear very well what you want to hear.
I confess that I missed a couple, and I tell Richard. But 16 said yes and 6 said no.
I want Richard to confirm that. And that is what he has. We ain't going with that as the final count at all.
Well, the final count is when the pollsters come in. And you know very well the online vote sometimes changes our polls. Because the big guy posse does come out overnight.
Your posse don't come out overnight. Your posse is going to bed early.
My posse does
don't come out overnight at all, right?
My posse does vote during the show.
Okay. And they don't vote out of the show at all. Right? Randall Stephen, let me share what the Prime Minister said and we can come back in a while.
All right.
Called vetted units. Vetted units, meaning groups of special police officers, men and women, who are vetted to ensure that their integrity is intact. Because one of the problems that we have is that there are too many criminals in the police service. So when you're going after the non-police criminals, they have their friends in the police service to tip them off, and we have to have vetted units. And I'm telling this country that we are prepared to pay extra to police officers in those vetted units if they will maintain their integrity and help us to root out the criminals in the police service, in the customs, in immigration, and in the parliament. So they want to talk crime. Crime and criminals are not only on the corners, you know. They're inside the parliament. Inside the parliament. So when they talk, It just boils my blood when I see them because I know them have questions to answer. Them have questions to answer. And here the answer. The answer is to flood the country with guns. Nobody is saying that our citizens can't get firearms. We have a system. The same way the Americans are saying to us, you have to have vetted units where you have people who could pass a polygraph test, who you examine on a regular basis to make sure they preserve their integrity, because information, confidentiality is a life and death. I distinctly recall a commissioner of police that he planned a raid many years ago, and when they were supposed to be at the place the raid was supposed to arrive in the office, the phone started to ring in the office. The police officer took up the phone and answered it, and it was saying, they're coming, and he to reach that police officer, calling to tip off the criminal. We have to get rid of them because they what we call vetted units.
So as Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley at Harris Promenade in San Fernando. Cameras, please.
You know, sorry, I was having a bite. I am so happy that the Prime Minister, because he went further to include customs and immigration and so on, right? We had a raid, a customs raid over the weekend, right? Remember, we had a raid over the weekend where a whole set of ammunition and guns were found in a barrel?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody arrested. They said 3 people helping out investigations. I don't know what that means, right? Maybe it's the people who working in the bond or whatever. Why aren't we following the consignees? Why aren't we seeing who these things consigned to? And why aren't we allowing them to pick it up before we arrest them? We going on opening the barrels, finding the guns and ammunition, and then that's the end of that. You know, here nothing.
Well, let me
that happened on Friday as well.
Yeah. Let me tell you what happened, because we've had direct conversations with persons in customs and excise in the JSC National Security and on the compound of the Port Authority and in interface with those officials.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is that they've gotten very creative. When you are registering the consignment, the cargo for shipment from the port where it's coming from outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you don't need to verify your address.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, you're just sending it. You're shipping
You're just sending it.
Yes.
And they don't also verify the ID associated with the person registering the consignment.
Right.
So when it comes here, very often is that because it's contraband, and it goes back to what the Prime Minister was saying, somebody may have tipped them off that, well, they identify and they're waiting for you, and nobody collects it.
Mm-hmm.
On many occasions, the person who is coming to collect it is a broker who says they got a wrong ID and a wrong address.
Mm-hmm.
So the authorities can't follow up and go. And in many cases also, because the information has been leaked by either customs, police, or whoever, no one turns up for it. Months. So people have found ways. And then don't discount outright bribery of customs officials.
Mm-hmm.
Who will say, see that container 5, 7, and 12, don't touch them.
Yes. That's possible.
And in any jurisdiction, they don't search or scan all containers. There's a percentage that is a benchmark that they scan. So there are a lot of loopholes in the systems that enable people who understand the system very well, who have been in it for a while, to undermine the system to bring in contraband. So that kind of answers the question, because we've asked those questions before.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They understand it because they're so long.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the problem too. Some of them for they're 25 years. With former AG Arabi, follow the money. People have 4 or 5 house, 16 car.
Mm-hmm.
None arrested. None.
Yeah.
They can't account for 4 and 5 house, beach house, Mercedes. They can't count for it. But nobody arrested.
Yes.
Follow the money. And as to the Prime Minister's comment about in the Parliament, I find if you are asking for vetting of police officers and army by polygraph testing, I think everybody who going up to be a parliamentarian, whether elected or selected, should also undergo a polygraph test. Because it's the highest officers in the land.
Yeah. Well, in a way, well,
why not?
I mean, I can't speak for
why not? Why not?
A screening process is done in the PNM. Not that you
why
get
not?
all...
If you have to register a person with the EBC to be a potential MP, you go through a polygraph test to make sure you're breaking the law. Why not?
Well,
if the Prime Minister saying there are criminals inside the Parliament, is that what the Prime Minister said, or did I hear wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right.
If there are criminals inside the Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago,
but
why not insist on polygraph testing for all?
But he's not saying that they went in there as criminals.
Well, maybe they need to polygraph them halfway through the term too. If we want to maintain integrity in the police service, why not the Parliament too, if that is the suggestion of the Prime Minister?
I don't think the Prime Minister will object to that, Paul.
I wouldn't object to it.
Yeah, I don't think
I have no problem with it. I guess those who have cocoa in the sun may.
Well, you'll hear them call all kind of things. You'll hear them make all kind of accusations and all.
Who is them? Who is them? Who is them?
you
Who is them? You're using this
name here this morning.
Them. You're saying them. Who is them, sir?
Listen to the news good. You'll hear them.
Who is them?
You'll hear them complain.
Anyway, Steve doesn't seem to have been successful in getting his guest. We can open the phone lines.
No, yeah, I got another one that will probably join us in about 15 minutes.
So let's open the phone lines, huh?
Yeah, got a lot of calls coming through already. So good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Dr. Paul, go to the head of the class, polygraph, their mother and their brother. I would like to know where Dr. Moonilal living. The police hands are tied. They are doing the best that they can. When the bandit dead, nobody say nothing. When a bandit get shot or died anyhow, everybody correlate. When the police get shot or die, nobody and have anything to say. And this voting that already carry after the program, is a lot of voter pardon could be done. Just check the voting during the time you all is on the air. Have a good day.
Thanks, Ms. Sampson. I don't understand the comment about where she wants to know where Dr. Munila living. I don't understand.
Well, she wants to know if he's living in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh.
In that context, that's what I thought it was.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, that's what I hope it was.
I was worried about something.
I was worried for a bit, and then my brain kind of said, okay, maybe she thinks that he's not exposed to what we're all exposed to.
Okay.
I got a little worried myself. they save the lawyer money kicking in me fast. You understand?
Oh, gosh.
But I think that's what she meant. I don't think she meant it in a sinister way.
All right, it's possible. All right, I'll take that.
222 talk 222-8255. We're taking your calls. Of course, we asked this morning, do you agree with the Prime Minister's suggestion of a vetted unit of police officers who are paid more to get rid of corrupt officers in the TTPS? Because and not just the TTPS, we're talking immigration, we're talking customs, we're talking the military, right? They need to go.
Why not just ban the professional standards unit then if they can't do their work?
Well, I know
clearly from the head of the National Security Council has no faith in them to be able to unearth corrupt officers. Clearly,
let me tell you
over the years of their existence, they have not been able to bring the level of corruption under control. Clearly, they might get 1 or 2 or 5, but not enough. Clearly, they're not working. Clearly, the powers of the Police Complaints Authority are not enough to investigate thoroughly officers who are corrupt or misbehaving in public office, clearly. So why do we have these institutions if they're not working?
Yeah, I won't say they're not working,
but they probably just not working fast enough.
Based on the utterances of the Prime Minister, they're not working. They're not working enough. It's either you're working effectively or not working effectively.
Right. Well, that we can say. Maybe they're not working effectively.
So what is the point of them if they're not working effectively? To say you have them?
I know that the PSB is a very meticulous unit. I know that.
And ineffective, meticulously ineffective. Because if the Prime Minister, who is the head of the National Security Council, who talks to the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security and the head of the Defense Forces saying that we need this new unit, the units that are there are not effective.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Well, it points to management. It comes down to management.
Look, batch, no sell out batch, no who know to turn away from what and leave that alone, and how you gonna lock up key as your brethren from long time and all that.
Drag your foot on that day. The person
don't go to work that day. Don't open that cupboard.
All right, we do have some calls, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Moylan said the police officers is not doing their job. They're doing their job, but when they catch the bandits, somebody else letting the bandits out. So it's looking like if they're not doing their job. But they are doing their job. That is why I asked, where is he living?
All right, thanks for the answer. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Hey, morning, guys.
Morning.
I'm sure all of you all have the experience of picking up a barrel on the port in Trinidad and Tobago. It is the most meticulous thing experience that I have had. I don't know what is the problem with the government through the legislation or whatever they have to do. Make it mandatory that when you're shipping a barrel, some form of ID be used to ship to have on record.
That is also there, but they don't have the facilities to vet the documents properly. That is already there. You can't ship a barrel without putting an address in it and showing an ID card or some sort of identification.
No, Paul, you're correct. I just shipped 5 barrels from New York. No, I call the company and tell them pick it up at my house and pay for it on PayPal. You could do it. It's very possible to do. It's very, very possible to do.
But then them systems real whack out.
Yeah, the problem is anybody can ship a barrel without no kind of records.
And also, let me tell you, the last time we visited, the place in the airport and the port, customs area in the port, the cameras are blocked up.
I want to add one other organization to the list of investigation thing. Licensing office.
Oh, gosh.
Right? I want to add that to the list because there are a lot of corrupt licensing officers, especially when driving permit or driving tests are concerned.
Well, that's an age-old story.
I find licensing officers corruption so long, they should almost be in the Bible because they are wrong so long.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, caller. Lots of calls. Good morning, caller.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
I'd like to highlight 2 separate situations on our roads, and if it is the powers that they are not listening, I'll be grateful. If it is, you might be able to pass it on to who might be responsible.
Roads, you say?
Yeah.
We're not really discussing that right now. Huh?
Why not, Steve?
No, let's focus on our topic. But go ahead. What's the problem with roads?
All right. It relates to the off-ramp of Uriah Butler as you pass Nestle. If you check the records, several accidents have taken place there. Just Saturday morning, a car had jackknifed and was on top of the guardrail. It seems that something is wrong with the curvature of the road. They probably need to mill it like they did on the Lady Young to have it the surface rough so that it would avoid these accidents from happening. And on foreshore, as you take the off-ramp to head on to Marval Parkway, there are about 14 street lights that are not working. The place is horribly dark and another incident could happen there. So I do hope that you would pass it on to maybe Mr. Pigot or somebody who might be running.
All right. Well, Mr. Pigot is listening, so there you go.
Thank you.
All righty. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I always wonder why whenever a barrel comes in or whatever, not barrel, whatever comes into the country and it is suspected that is something illegal that is being shipped, whoever, customs officer, police, whoever there, wait and let them, whoever it is coming to clear it, and then you could trail where this thing is going, because somebody had to come and collect whatever it is that came in that is illegal. I always wonder why they open it, and find whatever, and then they just have to confiscate it. You wait and see who is coming to clear this.
Sometimes no one comes to clear it because they've been tipped off that someone is waiting to arrest you.
Oh, it stays there? Oh, all right. Well, if so, let me deal with the topic. Well, the thing with the commission, what Dr. Rowley is going to implement. I want to say to the Commissioner of Police, prayers without works is nothing. So praying and you're not doing anything, it ain't going to help you. So I am saying what Dr. Rowley is doing, I applaud him. We need to get, and as Wendell said, the police officers are the problem. What's going on in our country? The police from since way back in Burroughs days, and they finally now wake up. Well, thank God, Dr. Rowley trying to do something. You have to get the police officers out because they're the ones. You know it is. You call Western and talk about a drug block, and you might be talking to the man himself who controlling the drug block. It is scary. So hats off. I hope with bare fruit, because as Merchant said, not Merchant, explainer, we just can't go on this way. So let me see what's going on happen here. You all have a wonderful day.
Thank you. I want to voice a complaint. I don't think people should be brandishing party logos and names of candidates on the screen.
You see, it's only because I get up to go for my battery recording.
Brandishing party symbols and names of candidates openly on the feed. It's quite unfair.
I've been very careful to have it not shown, but I get up.
Well, you just show it, then you get up and you make an excuse to get up and make sure it shows just now. So
I can do that. I can just
simply do this. You turn on the camera to the camera to get up and you screen it again. Why are you showing it again? It's unfair.
All morning, every morning now I had to be seeing you and Richard. I had to be seeing all in blue. Every morning is blue.
So we're still taking your calls. 222-8255 North Americans, 866-525-1099. Our number is directly into our studio. Of course, we'll have a guest coming up in about 10 minutes time. Yeah. All right. So you can open up our lines till then. The guest I wanted to get, anyway, I'm still trying, but
you had to change on it.
You happy now?
You had to change.
You happy now? This purple might start pushing hope now because purple is the color. What color could we wear? But I wear a white t-shirt.
Well, we look like a nice rainbow of colors on the screen this morning.
You're happy now? I change it. I take it off.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, feeling inundated with blue, all right? You need help, yes?
Oh, gosh.
I feel like better quality GPS for you.
But we're still taking your calls. At 222-TALK, 222-8255. Of course, North Americans, you can also call toll-free at 866-525-1099. People in other parts of the planet, 1-868, you know that code, 222-TALK, 222-8255. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Hello?
you seen a call here? No call yet.
I thought the signal you gave was that there was a call.
No, I'm talking to someone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is there anything that the government would say concerning crime that the opposition will come out and support and say, that sounds like a good idea, let's support that? Is there anything? Is everything so they have to fight down? Everything so they have to have a problem with? A bunch of people who run this country and want to run it again. Everything so you have a problem with? Nah, man. That can't be healthy for a country. And you see why Dr. Ollie's get angry sometimes? Because he's get angrier. When everything you jump it out and say, all of us, Dr. Ollie gave an idea that a vetted unit of officers, something that we had before, I maintain. Under the special anti-crime unit, we had it. These officers were being paid extra. We had it, you know. He brings up that idea. Now he's a mongoose gang he's trying to create to hunt you down. Oh, politics.
Did you all read those two? Did you all read? Well, there are two stories. I don't know if you all referenced them this morning before I came on. The one of the 51-year-old man who was shot in Maloney. He was walking on the street and he was shot by a drive-by. He was shot. And of course, social media is saying it was the wrong person.
Oh.
Apparently, there was an altercation between some guy and whatever other guy. And the other guy got the posse together and said, go on, I assumed, this is what some of social media is saying, go and shoot him, he wearing an orange jersey.
Oh.
And this 51-year-old guy happened to have on an orange jersey and was walking in Maloney just to head home, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Gets shot at, runs, and ends up dead.
I didn't see that story.
A case of mistaken identity.
You know, I have the video, but the video is too graphic to share.
Yeah, but and reports coming on social media and stuff is that it was a case of mistaken identity because the quarrel, apparently people had witnessed the altercation and the guy was in orange jersey, but they said it wasn't that guy. He just happened to be in orange jersey walking in the wrong place at the wrong time. Isn't that crazy?
Of course.
And you're just now dead, and you have nothing to do with what was going on. Zero.
So was he shooting in Cockeritt last week with Dylan?
Right. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. Dylan wasn't the target.
And the other one, I don't know if you all mentioned the one that was in the Sunday Guardian yesterday about the man who got an abuser whose hand got cut off.
Yes, you saw the video of that? Whoa.
Yeah. Did y'all talk about that?
No.
Yeah, because that is a story. I mean, if I could read a little bit of it.
Hold on, I have a call. I selected a call already, so let's do it and you'll come back with that.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yes. What we are going to have here is a group of volunteers being polygraphed and voluntarily, and if they pass, then I suppose they would put a qualification, or at some point before or after the polygraph, you would have other requirements and so on, and then they would get into this squad. I don't think, first of all, I have a position that if the courts don't support polygraph here, that we shouldn't be using it in determining who's into an elite or not. I think that's a key kind of thing because someone might take the test and fail, and that goes on his file. And he might take the position, well, it's not all that reliable, and I didn't take it for this thing, this promotion I'm applying now for. I took it for that other reason, because first of all, it's not, they could make an argument. And secondly, Wendell, my friend, everything that is on the table by any government is subject to scrutiny. If some people from time to time choose not to scrutinize, that's a matter for them. And in our system here, especially in our system, right, where we have an adversarial system, you have a system that is adversarial by definition and practice. Every morning when you get up, somebody will be scrutinizing the government, and they could get vexed if they want. That's fine. That's part of it too. That's just part of it. That the government put something on the table, every single thing that they put is going to get scrutinized. Get with the program. Thank you.
Scrutinize is different to criticize, okay?
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Well, I am also happy to hear the return of a special unit as that, because we need a unit in the police so that criminals are afraid of, they must be intimidated like we thought. But why did we disband the thought at the first? Because we had that in place. And then after Gary Griffith left, I think the next police commissioner, his name, he was saying, I can't remember his name. He disbanded the thought and put nothing in place. So now the criminals are emboldened. So now after the crime goes out of hand, we now bringing it back. We had it in place already. Why did we disband the thought for about 2-3 years now?
Yeah? Well, there were two versions of what we're talking about. There was the Special Anti-Crime Unit, SAUTT, under the former PNM government. Then Gary Griffith, when he became commissioner, then he put back SORT, S-O-R-T, and they disbanded that too.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we're going to bring it back again. So we give the criminals a window because criminals are afraid. I mean, I live in areas where they are afraid of these special anti-crime units. They are intimidated. But who is going to lead this new unit? Is it Ulla Christopher? That was funny. Is it Ulla Christopher herself going to lead this new unit that they are forming? That was real fun.
Well, she led a unit on the avenue on Saturday because I pass and I see them all over the avenue. And I don't know what purpose it served, but guess what? All power to them.
Let's just hope whatever it takes, Wendell, to get this crime situation under control. I support it. It doesn't matter who. It could be which government, who police commissioner, whatever it is to be done. If Dr. Oli think that will solve the crime situation, I will support it fully. Because, I mean, you all see what is going on in this country. I stopped watching the news. What I watching it, and the whole half of the news until the weather was about who get killed, who shoot, who sprayed on, who in power, who went on fire, and that was it. I haven't watched the news since that because it's very depressing.
It's depressing. You're right.
My niece wants to come for her birthday in October. I tell her, listen, hold on. Don't come now. She wants to come in October for her birthday to celebrate with me at my and I tell her, hold up. I say, hold up, Crystal, until this, I could give you an assurance that you'll be safe. And because it's not nice right now. I mean, let's put politics aside. Right? So people, if you talk about he says so, that's right, and Kamala says so, and that is right. Let's put politics aside and let's band together and get this crime situation. I mean, I have there's that all I could do is raise my wall, I put pipes on the wall, I put 2 locks, I put one with.
You still have to go outside sometimes,
And,
True.
And that's the most I could do to try to protect myself and my family and my property. So I work very hard. So and I'm working. I'm even spending more the amount of money now because it's cameras. I have to put up the spikes. I have to raise the wall. I have to put up railings on the wall. I have to fix the gate things. And it's all these things. Money. I change the doors to them. Them metal security doors. Change all these doors to those. The security doors with the locks on the side, the locks on the top. Why I must living like this? So come in your gate right now. After that, I don't just open the gate. I wait until I reach right in front of the gate. Then I press the remote to open the gate. No, that's not to do the thing because he does come down the road. I see the gate open and he turn the corner. Yes, but he done gate opening. I tell them the wait, come in front of the gate. What's wrong? What's inside it? What's down the jack? What's right or wrong before you open the gate? You know, it's depressing all you all. It's very depressing. Whatever could be done to get this situation under control, I think all citizens should support it, regardless of who we support in political.
Yeah.
But it's affecting every one of us. And I will support anything for me to live a little more comfortable and friends and family to come over and time and it could be late, a little later and go home and I could be comfortable and they will reach up here. But somebody just, when I see 8 o'clock, it's time to go, time to leave, to get home before a certain time. Because these guys just driving around. I live in Bataria. I know they're just driving around and looking for opportunity. That's what they're doing. They're just driving around and they're armed. And I'm not saying enough stop and search. I know, I mean, it's an inconvenience, but I think the police should be doing more, what they call it, frisking, and stop and search. Just randomly stop vehicles, search them. You see, when people saying that they'll be afraid to be moving around because they don't know if they will be next one to be stopped. I'm not saying that, sir. If I had you random, what they call it, roadblock. But I mean, police officers be just when they're driving around, but they're on their phone. They're on their phone. You see a vehicle, by looking at it, officer, they stop them. The next thing is, you see that tint? That they need to do something about the tinting of the vehicle. Because fellas,
well, they did. It's just not being enforced.
Well, I think this is no tint. Everybody take off the tint. I want to see all vehicles. No tint at all.
Yeah, I see some vehicles there, man. 12 o'clock Hudson, you still can't see inside the car.
I mean, even the windscreen, half of the windscreen tint, you know, the front windscreen, half of the windscreen tint. I don't know how they drive. So you cannot see nothing in these vehicles. And this is they must start looking at fellas driving around with a gun right on the seat, you know, and down by the foot. And nobody is stopping them and searching. And they know when they come because the one in front will call them and say, hey, roadblock. Right? When they're moving, 2 cars moving, one in front, one behind. The one in front is making sure the way clear. If roadblock, he call and say, you know, they have to start this stopping at regular. Let us see it happening. Let people see boys they're stopping people all over the place and they just switch. And they're inconvenient because they might stop the answer. I wouldn't mind. But when people see these things happening, they will be a little cautious about how they're moving. These guys are emboldened. You know, I don't know what. And that's the unit. I'm looking forward that that's being implemented. But what I'm concerned, who will be leading that? I know Gary used to lead SWORD. I saw them already when this girl who killed up Aripo where I live.
No, SWORD wasn't Gary leading it. Gary was the commissioner. SWORD was the Hernandez guy.
He was actively involved, huh?
Yeah, he was, but it was Hernandez leading that unit.
Yeah.
Yes,
all right, caller.
I know, but Gary was actively involved.
Yes, yeah. I'm not
Thank
denying
you.
that.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
All righty. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. That tint that gentleman spoke about, I want to jump on that. It is a serious problem. But you know where it starts from? Where the loophole is? When the police gives you an explanation, the justification, that, well, we have sensitive information that we need to be private, that we need to have private, so we can have that tint, but all you can't have it. And it leaves the door open now that maybe it's a police vehicle. You understand? And so you're seeing some vehicles now, especially those that resemble that of a police vehicle, with black tint, and you don't know now if it's a police vehicle or if it's a civilian with black tint. Right? I have seen dozens of vehicles totally black down in my area in Chabonas here. And I keep wondering, is that a police vehicle? Is that somebody who just don't care and have the vehicles opened? What you don't see is police pulling over these vehicles, searching them and making them rip off the tint or seizing them because they don't have tint, because they have that type of tint on the vehicle. On the other hand, I was very pleased to see this weekend in Oropone, in the stretch to going to Oropone, licensing officers there doing stop and search and whatnot and whatnot. I hope, I would like to know that, to believe that they also go into Goodwood Park and into Val Park and do the same. Right?
Lincoln, why are you cursing on here?
Why am I what?
Cursing on here?
All right.
You know
when they swing off the gas station and they made the two left to go into Oropon, they were inside there, almost in the residential area, doing stop and search.
And you know what's going to happen, Lincoln?
I'm surprised.
I know what's going to happen. Somebody is going to pass, see there's a roadblock, send out a WhatsApp broadcast, stop and search, licensing office at the entrance. That's what's going to happen.
I want people to be clear. Here, my perspective. I was pleasantly surprised that they were there. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be there. I was pleasantly surprised that they were in there. They were showing tactics. However, all I'm saying is, I hope that they do the same thing in Valsay. Let me use some more obscene Wendell. And go back and point, and the different highfalutin areas as well too. Right? That's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you, Lincoln.
Have a good day.
You too. All the best. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Steve.
I thought we are waiting 15 minutes. I guess, Steve.
I'm waiting still, don't worry.
You see, I love Trinidad and Tobago. And sometimes when I hear the conversations, it really, really irks me. Now, listen, we have people here with other ideas besides the Prime Minister and the PNM alone. We have Gavin here that's on the radio very often. And last week he said, up to now, nobody have never contacted him. They have never asked him anything. Gary Griffith came up with a suggestion that he should forget the politics and let everybody get together, the UNC, himself, and the PNM. And the Prime Minister shut it down and said he don't want to hear from Gary. He don't want to have nothing to hear from Gary. And that is the problem with our country. There are other people that have ideas. If you listen to them, and and you could come up with something. Look, we have Mariano Brown. When I listen to Mariano Brown, my heart is bleeding, hearing what he has to offer, and nobody is taking him on. So that is the problem here. And I will always remember what Prangalang said before he died when he was on the radio. He said there are two opinions in Trinidad and Tobago, the PNM's opinion and the wrong opinion. If you don't agree with them, you're wrong. That is not the way you want to get things done. You know what I mean? So how can you move forward? That the opposition opposing to everything. If you bring something that makes sense or listen to what they have to say, but when you're telling them you don't want to hear nothing from them, God, still very great. You have to be real, man. You have to be real. This is Trinidad and Tobago, and I love this country. Thank you.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. 10 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock. Sorry?
No, that didn't come out on air, right? Let's take some calls, though.
Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. Lincoln, I wish they could come in the West. Licensing officers, he said, well, this is an SOS to the Commissioner of Transport. Is it Mr. Clark? I would wish that he could come into the West. Come down to the West, Mr. Clark. Lord have mercy. We need you more than ever down in the West. Come down, because Jesus, they're doing what they want. Because they do it down here, from the time if the police have a roadblock, you see them WhatsApping, you see them. So they don't need to be deterred from that. Or you come, we ain't gonna do like what Farley did earlier in Tobago. Farley say, oh, you're terrorizing the people in Tobago. We will welcome you down here in the West, Mr. Clark. So have no fear. Come and do all your job. That is what you all are paid to do. Come down, because it seems like the police incapable of dealing with the drivers who are breaking all the laws the licensing officers have out there on the books.
So if it takes licensing officers to deal with the drivers down here, I would say to you, Mr. Clark, as the pastors, they say, come on down. You'll have a wonderful day. Bye.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Are you ready to explore the cutting edge world of computers and controls? Then mark your calendars for the TIC convention happening this Thursday, July 20th to 22nd at the Center of Excellence. Visit the Computers and Controls booth and witness the future of communication with PBX voice over IP technology. Enhance your network security with firewalls. Discover the power of seamless connectivity with access points and take your business online with EasyCart. And wait, there's more. There'll be loads of exciting freebies that you won't want to miss. Join the Computers and Controls team for the TIC's convention this Thursday, July 20th to 22nd at the Center of Excellence. Computers and Controls, where you can unleash the power of technology and gain valuable insights that will shape your future. All right. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I just want to comment on that caller before who misrepresented Dr. Rowley with respect to situations about crime. What Dr. Rowley said, every day he's in the parliament speaking to the opposition about crime, and they agreed to nothing. He never said that he's not going to meet with them. He's in parliament every day speaking to and with the opposition and making legislation for crime. And there's never any agreement. How can he come thereafter and want to sit down around a table when he's doing it every day in the parliament? Secondly, your news report where Dr. Munilal came up and said that it is unconstitutional to bring a unit such like this. How are you going to say it's unconstitutional and also only the Commissioner of Police can make decisions with respect to that? But every single day, the opposition is chastising the Minister of National Security about crime. So they continuously move in the goalposts. 1 minute they're saying it is Minister Hines' responsibility, but now when it's convenient to you, the government should not bring anything pertaining to crime, and is now the Commissioner of Police's responsibility. That's my conclusion.
Caller, you know why I didn't respond to that caller? Because I would have said exactly what you called in there and say. Because the opposition is clearly have no intentions of supporting any crime measure in the parliament. I would have said that. But, just like I guess people feel I have an agenda, he has his agenda too, so I just allowed him to say what he had to say, and I left it at that. But I'm happy you called it.
All right. Richard, you wanted to read something before I take another call.
Your mic is off, Richard.
No, I moved that article way off at wrong time, so it'll take me a minute or two to get it back, which would make sense.
Okay. All right. So 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. We just have a couple of minutes to take your calls before we head up to our news brief at 8 o'clock. AV is in.
But Steve, you had to at least share half the secret with us. We ain't got the individual person. We can at least know who it was. We might have been.
I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
Yeah. It will be interesting to go to the is it a TIC conference this week? It's TIC, right?
Yeah. It starts on Thursday. We'll run till Saturday.
It's always interesting. I've gone a couple of times.
Yeah.
You have so many companies that do all manner of things in Trinidad and Tobago you will not believe. Sometimes you're like, what? They have companies that do that? So it's always interesting if you can get to go. If you can get the time to go. And I'm hoping I get the time. A lot of the times I'm always in a play when they have it on. So a lot of times I can't go because I'm in a play and I'm busy in a play. Well, I am busy with a play right now, which opens next week, Saturday and Sunday, not this Saturday and Sunday, the 29th and 30th at Central Bank Auditorium. So we are on with a new production next week, Saturday and Sunday at Central Bank Auditorium. It's a play we have never done. in terms of our production company, has never done it. It's on next week, Saturday and Sunday, and it's called What You're Looking at Me So For. So What You're Looking at Me So For is on next week, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. Tickets go on sale from this Wednesday at all our usual outlets. So this Wednesday, tickets will go on sale at all our outlets across, well, northern Trinidad, basically. Northern and central.
Richard Raghubasing.
Yeah.
Richard Raghubasing, I gave you no permission to write a play about my life. I gave you no permission to write about me.
Lois St. John's.
I know that's one. I know that's one of them. How it started. What you looking at me for?
The bad. Lois St. John says, "Tell Wendell the opposition whether PNM or UNC."
What's that?
Agrees. Tell Wendell the opposition whether PNM or UNC agrees with the sitting government on a pay increase. Big guy. Out in New York, Steve, tell Wendell I just walked into my office in Queens, and standing in front of me in the elevator was a guy wearing a UNC t-shirt. Could that be a sign?
Oh, let him vote out there. Now let go in. Let me tell you something. The UNC will win the corporations that they have. They probably could lose Sangre Grande. And the PNM will win the corporations they have and probably will win Sangre Grande. And NTA will not win a single seat. PEP will not win a single seat. PDP will not win a single seat. I'm saying that a month in advance. Okay? If anything happens between now and then to change the way I feel about it, I will let you all know. But the NTA, the PEP, and the PDP ain't winning a single seat. Right. Good. You're putting up candidates in an area and you can't even match it with aldermen. So it's almost like if you just, I don't know, what is the purpose on some of them even contesting some of these municipalities? Because first, you don't have a full slate and you don't have a full slate of aldermen. Or in some cases, you have 5 candidates but 12 aldermen. You just make up names of aldermen. It ain't making no sense. They're just fooling people, wasting people's time.
You got that off your chest?
No, I will say it again, unless because Hamid Ghani, Dr. Hamid Ghani did a couple articles in this weekend papers analyzing some of these things. You all should read it because it is not making sense. Some of these parties putting candidates in areas, not matching it with aldermen, or putting candidates in areas and putting a whole pile of aldermen just to make up a list. You know, and then aldermen in 3 different corporations, Arima, Port of Spain, Diego Martin, had the same set of names. It's not making sense. And you boast how you have all these members in your party, but yet still you're duplicating and triplicating names on the alderman list. Show us that you really have people and put the names. You understand? Show us you really have support. Well, Ross Russell name in 3 different places. Yeah? Joey Lewis name in 3 different places. Dirk Barnes' name in 3 different places. This Griffith name in 3 different places. And it's so it going. What sense that making? What sense that making?
You'll have a wonderful day. Be safe out there.
Yes, please do. Have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God.
Yep. Have a fantastic Monday morning. And remember to smile and laugh wherever you are. It's great for your health. Sometimes it's difficult, but make time and do it. Have a great one.
I need royalties.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much.